therapist, Kristen Jacobson.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen, the anxiety therapist, and today's topic is whether perfectionism can ruin a relationship. So we all want a great relationship, right? But sometimes what we think of as having high standards might actually be perfectionism in disguise, and it can really be causing more harm than good. When we expect too much from our partners or ourselves, we're really setting everybody up for frustration and disappointment. And so the worst part is that we might not even realize it's happening. So I have a lot of clients who are perfectionists themselves, and not only does this affect how they feel about themselves and how they sort of move through the world, but it also bleeds into their relationship with their partner, where their partner might feel like they can never measure up, right? They're never good enough because the expectations are so high. This can also happen in the dating world. I have clients who are having a hard time finding a partner because they have high standards, which is good to an extent, but sometimes that can also bleed over into perfectionism where nothing seems to be good enough, and that maybe kind of what they're hoping for doesn't necessarily exist. So we're going to take a look at how perfectionism sneaks into relationships, why it causes so much trouble, and what you can do about it. So perfectionism isn't just about wanting things to be nice and orderly. It's really this constant need for things to be flawless. And in relationships, this can mean expecting your partner to always say the right thing, or never make mistakes, or meet every emotional need that you have without fail. And while being a perfectionist is often used as sort of a form of self-deprecation in our society, it actually typically stems from early life experiences where approval was linked to achievements or good behavior. And then over time, we actually start believing that anything less than perfect isn't good enough, not just for ourselves, but for the people we love too. And that's where things start to break down. We sort of get trapped in this all or nothing type of thinking, where, it's either perfect or a failure, and there's nothing in between, when in reality we're all human and we all exist in that in-between state. So when you expect perfection from your partner, you're setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment. No one can be everything all the time, and life gets messy, people make mistakes. Sometimes your partner will forget to pick up milk even after you've told them 3 times. It happens. But perfectionists don't always see it that way. Instead of shrugging off these small missteps or mistakes, they might feel personally let down, thinking if my partner really cared, they would have remembered, or some other sort of belief that relates back to their worth or importance or how much they matter. And so this mindset can really turn these minor issues into much bigger ones, and it sort of slowly creates this tension in the relationship. And then over time, constantly feeling like they can't measure up can actually make your partner pull away emotionally or stop trying altogether. So it's sort of like, why bother when nothing seems to be good enough, right? It's less work for me not to try versus trying and still feeling like it's not good enough. So here are some signs that perfectionism is hurting your relationship. Number 1, you're never quite satisfied. So even when things are going well, you find yourself focusing on what could be better instead of enjoying what's good. So you're sort of filtering out the negatives. Number 2, your partner feels criticized a lot. So they might say things like, nothing I do is ever enough, or they might seem hesitant to share things with you for fear that you'll judge them. Number 3 is that you might overanalyze everything. So from the way they text to how they load the dishwasher, you might feel the need to point out every little thing they could do, quote unquote, better. So again, there's that black and white thinking there's a right and a wrong way to do things, when in reality, there's a lot of middle ground. And just because you do something one way doesn't mean that it's better than how they do it. Number 4 is you fear mistakes. So whether it's in yourself or your partner, mistakes feel like deal breakers, like really high stakes, rather than just part of being human. And then 5, you avoid vulnerability. So if you're afraid to show your own imperfections, then you might expect your partner to always be strong and composed too. So if any of this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Perfectionism in relationships is a lot more common than you might think, but the good news is that it's possible to change. Let's take a look at the science behind perfectionism and relationships. It often leads to a cycle of dissatisfaction and resentment. And perfectionists tend to have lower relationship satisfaction because of their constant pursuit of flawlessness. And this in turn creates those unrealistic expectations and ongoing stress. Perfectionism also triggers a lot of cognitive distortions. So, like I was mentioning, this all or nothing thinking, sometimes referred to as polarized thinking or black and white thinking, this is a cognitive distortion, meaning that it's an irrational thought process. And it's when you view things in extremes. So either the relationship or your partner is perfect or a failure. And in reality, healthy relationships exist somewhere in between, right? You have good days, you have bad days, and then you have a lot more in between moments. So how do you let go of perfectionism and build a healthier relationship? One is to adjust your expectations. So remind yourself that your partner is human, just like you. Nobody is perfect, and that's okay. And instead of focusing on their shortcomings, pay attention to the qualities that make them special. Number 2 is to practice self-compassion. So perfectionism often starts with how we treat ourselves, right? If you're constantly pushing yourself to meet impossible standards or coming down really hard on yourself, then it's likely you might be doing the same to your partner. So work on being kinder to yourself first, and then it will sort of naturally spill over into your relationship. Number 3 is to focus on effort, not perfection. So instead of expecting your partner to always get it right, appreciate the effort they put in. So small gestures like maybe trying to be more communicative or remembering your coffee order, those are worth recognizing. And be sure to reinforce that stuff so that they continue doing it. Number 4 is to learn to let things go. So ask yourself, does this really matter in the long run? If not, it might be time to let it slide. Not every disagreement needs to turn into a deep discussion about personal flaws. And if you're not going to be thinking about whatever it is, a week later, it may not even be worth mentioning. 5 is to communicate honestly. So be upfront with your partner about your own struggles with perfectionism. Let them know that you're working on it and ask for their support. Relationships really thrive on honesty, not pretending that everything's fine. And they might actually be able to gently call you out when your perfectionism is showing up, if that's something that sometimes you're just unaware of. And then number 6 is to get professional support if needed. So if perfectionism has been a lifelong struggle, therapy can really be invaluable. And a trained therapist can help you identify where these patterns started and then teach you ways to change them and your ways of thinking. So perfectionism might seem like a good thing at first. It makes you strive for better and succeed, right? But that's why it can be so hard to change. It's gotten you this far. And so it's hard to think of what life would be like or where your drive would come from without it. But when it comes to relationships, it can do more harm than good. And expecting too much can really leave you feeling disappointed and your partner feeling like they can't measure up. So the truth is, relationships aren't perfect because people aren't perfect. And when you begin to embrace those imperfections, you'll likely find that your connection actually grows stronger, deeper, and is more fulfilling than you ever imagined. So take a breath, let some things slide. And remember, love isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about loving someone, flaws and all, so that they can show you the same unconditional love. I hope this was helpful. Reach out if you have any questions or feel free to leave a comment. And I would love to hear about your own experiences with perfectionism, whether that's you or your partner.